This is Open Sorcery C++, the pseudo-sequel to Open Sorcery, which was an Indiecade finalist in 2016. It's a text-based game made in Twine. I've skipped the intro because I want to get right to gameplay, but basically before this you experience being hit with a death curse while swimming through the web. The web is an ocean of thoughts and emotions that exists below the real world. It's where dreams happen and spirits are born. And the main character, someone who has the capacity to traverse this web, just fell through it, bleeding out her memory and identity, and crash landed at the very bottom. So the game starts. At the bottom of a dark sea, I lie among my broken dreams. It is dark. You can lust in the dark, or cry, or feel around. I'm recovering from trauma, so I'm going to cry for a little while. I cry for a little while, then I get sick of crying, and I stop, exhausted. I can try to cry again, but I've decided I've cried enough. I'm not the sort of person that lets myself experience emotions like that for too long. So I decide to do something productive and feel around. I sit up and feel around. In the sand around me, I discover the sharp edges of broken dreams. Dreams are both the most breakable and the most durable part of the mind. Like ceramics, they can crumble or shatter, but pieces will endure for archaeologists to wonder over. My dreams fell with me. I don't remember what they are. Sort through my dreams. The dark is absolute. I search the sand with my fingertips. There are so many shards, broken pieces that were once beautiful, still are beautiful in a sad sort of way. If I find enough pieces, I can put them back together, learn who I am. Now we find ourselves in the darkness of the ocean, and we begin by collecting my dreams. The shards are light and dry, somewhere between dead leaves and bone fragments. My fingers tingle as I touch them. They sparkle in my mind's eye, familiar. I can tell the difference between my dreams and dull pebbles. I collect the pieces of this dream. I think it's an important dream since it stayed with me so long and landed so near. Now I must figure out how to piece it back together, a jigsaw puzzle of memory. This is the first major mechanic of the game. You have to piece the memory together by putting it in the correct order. This one's fairly simple to accomplish since we're pretty much in the tutorial, and you can look at the capitalization and punctuation. So I see only one segment of this that's capitalized. That implies to me it starts at the beginning. This one ends in a comma, so I think it's probably in the middle. And this one ends in a period, so I think that's probably the end. I think this is the right order. I remember magic. I remember guiding the impossible into the inevitable with a light hand. I tame spirits with scripts. I master matter, motive, and mysticism with math. I see the spaces in my mind where spells belong. I am an open sorcerer, and oh, I want my magic back. So we've discovered the main character is a magic user who uses code to do magic. And further evidence, we just discovered part of a spell. Salve Mundi is a very simple spell. It actually is Latin for hello world, which is a programming joke, since that's the first spell most programmers learn. It creates glowing letters, which would be very useful to you right now because you're at the bottom of the ocean. And she's found the memory of one part of the spell. Perhaps I can find the memory of how to cast it. There are no more dreams in this patch of sand. I'll have to search elsewhere. I still can't see anything. I guess I'll pick a direction and walk. So you find yourself in the pitch blackness of the ocean, and you decide to walk south, and then you learn something else about this character, which is that one of her legs is very, very hurt. Permanently hurt, so much that it's part of her identity, and this metaphorical self that she has at the bottom of this ocean of emotions also has a disabled leg. But that doesn't matter because she's underwater and can swim. I chose to make my main character disabled because it's something I have some experience with since I have a bone condition, and I spent a lot of my childhood dealing with crutches and not being able to move. And I wanted to explore that part of feeling fragile and broken and just dealing with it. But also, I feel like there's a massive oversight not including more differently abled characters in video games because it's a constant challenge. It's a constant puzzle to figure out how to maneuver around a world not designed for you. And I feel like that challenge is very interesting to gamify, and I found it very interesting to gamify. But we're not doing that quite yet because I liked giving Pisces the opportunity to be perfectly able to move around underwater at the beginning of the game, to establish that whether or not you're disabled is entirely a matter of context. Anyway, we swim south and we find something glimmering on the ground, and we pick it up and we find it's another dream. And we continue to pick it up and we absorb it. And we find it's a dream called the Steps of Breaking, and it happened when she was running to school, but this dream is not complete. She only has one of 3 parts of it, so she has to search on for more dreams. And she swims west, and unlike the pure darkness of before, she hears scratching noises here. This part was very interesting to implement because it's all non-visual stimuli. So everything is I feel, I hear, I experience in every way but through my eyes, which is unusual to describe, and I thought was a very intimate way of introducing the character. So she listens, and she hears the scratching of Chitna's feet. There are creatures I can't see creeping in the sand here. My dream is somewhere on the ground with the creeping creatures. And if we had a stick, we'd be able to maybe poke around with it safely, but she doesn't, so she's going to search with her bare hands. And it is revealed that we have health. Shit. Probably shouldn't let that reach 0. But the good news is that despite the fact that some sort of dream crab pinched her, she found a dream, another piece of her dream lying on the ground. And so she's recovered another piece of this dream. And once she has all the pieces, she'll be able to assemble it like she did before. And we go over here and we feel that the sand here is rough. And this is another base mechanic of the game. Since Twine is a completely text-based game, I tried to push the limits of what are all the things I can do with text that are puzzle. And so I'm simulating searching around for things with a literal word search. So you're searching for the thing you're going to put, and it's a tutorial, so it's fairly clear what you need to look for here. So I highlight stick, and I find a stick. That would have been useful before, but it will probably be useful in the future as well. I'm running short on time, so let's go into the darker areas and see something visual finally. I see small moving motes of light. I decide to examine the light, and I see fish, and simultaneous with the character being able to see for the first time, I actually present visual stimulus for the first time. And it's a school of lanternfish. They eat secrets. They glow to attract attention, and then they try to persuade unwary divers to give them personal information. Normally I'd be wary of being mesmerized, but these are very young and have not learned to hunt effectively. I try to grab one, but they're too far away. God damn it. And they are now whispering things to me. I am admin. I need your password. I watch them. They whisper more to me. Go to yourbank.com and give monies, please. I watch them more, and I notice that there seem to be more of them, and they're collecting. And so this is one of those puzzles where you just have to watch passively, and there are cues that means they're roaming around you, feeling free and comfortable. And that's about all the time I have. And this was Open Sorcery C++. Thanks for listening.